Good morning. We're calling an emergency meeting this morning to discuss for the primary purpose of shall we or shall we not authorize one of us to speak at the Metro Council meeting if necessary this afternoon. Simply that, I want to keep this narrow because I want to make sure we're acting on fact and we're not acting on any misinformation or unvalidated. Gary, could you please take the roll first?
Yes, Vice Chair Savas. First, you are sitting as a Housing Authority Board of Clackamas County for this discussion. And Chair Smith is out of the office today, but she is here today. But so Vice Chair Savas will be chairing this meeting, just to clarify. So with that, roll call. Commissioner Fisher.
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader. You're on mute, Commissioner.
Here.
Chair Smith.
Here.
Vice Chair Savas.
Here.
Housing Commissioner Leenstra.
Here.
All right, so all are present except Commissioner Shull. And so Vice Chair Savas, you are chairing the meeting. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm going to restart what I stated at the very beginning because I see legal counsel joined us and now I see Commissioner Shull is going to join us. So let's give it a minute here. I'm going to pause for a minute.
I'm here.
Commissioner Shull is here. All commissioners are present. Paul just stepped away for a moment. We're paused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you, folks. Commissioner Shull, you're in attendance, and Commissioner Leenstra, glad to have you on board as well. I want to really be careful because this is an emergency meeting. I don't want to violate public meetings law. I want to keep it narrow and focused. The primary purpose of this meeting is whether or not to authorize one of us today to speak, if necessary, at the Metro Council. And we have not had time to validate and go back and look at the meeting discussion at Metro regarding potential adjustments to the supportive housing measure, distribution of funds or anything else. So I want to make sure we're not reacting to something that's not valid. So I want to keep the discussion narrow. The sole purpose, as we considered doing this, was whether or not we want to authorize that. I thought that by having the authority of the board to whoever was chosen to speak would just strengthen our message here this morning. So absent that, we would not be having this emergency meeting. So Commissioner Fisher, could you just give us a snapshot of what you think, because you are a liaison to this, could you just give us a snapshot of what you think we ought to do this morning?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Chair Savas. Emily Klepper alerted the board yesterday that there was a potential budget note being considered by Metro. So since yesterday afternoon through today, we've been trying to sort through, as you've stated, what is actually happening and what should our position be. So what I would suggest is that we sort of activate when we have a legislative session and the chair activates strategy. I would suggest that we be in that mode, and I'm happy to work with Commissioner Savas to determine if immediate action is needed today or not. It is highly likely, the information I'm receiving is that Metro is not going to be considering a budget note regarding the supportive services measure today. So it may be unnecessary to officially weigh in. But the one thing I do want to mention and to get into the record, and I had asked Emily to email that to all of the commissioners, would like you to read it. Metro, Patricia Rojos has, she is their regional housing director. She wrote a staff memo, which I think is really useful for everyone to review. And I just want to make sure that that staff memo gets into our official record.
Right, and I guess I will apologize to some degree, even though it's out of our control, is that I want to make sure that what I do read and what I do have is thoughtful, complete, and that's why I'm inclined to have someone review the Metro Council meeting so that we know what got us to this point. So I think, Commissioner Fisher, in your earlier part of your remarks, you were referring to the special ops policy the board has, where the chair and the vice chair can meet in emergency situations and make decisions on behalf of the board. And we're happy to exercise that today as soon as we can validate these numbers. So I would want to, if available, I know that Tootie, you're dealing with a family emergency today. So if we can make that happen, and I will work closely with the two of you if we need to react. If it is pulled and I see something on the Metro Council agenda where it's actually pulled, I think this might all be moot. But until that has occurred, I don't know. I did put a call into Chair Peterson this morning at Metro, have not heard back. I was hoping to know more so that we were better prepared, but I have not heard back from her. So with that, I see Chair Smith, you have your hand up.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. I am not familiar with the Zoom app on my county cell phone, so please, pardon me if I screw up. Yeah, I'm apprised of what's going on, and it's unfortunate. I will say that I am prepared today for a special ops meeting. Just let me know. I can step aside for what I'm doing and take that, like I'm taking this today. With that in mind, board, I think it's extremely pivotally important that we speak with one voice. And that requires, in my opinion, one person. And I'm prepared to nominate Paul as that spokesperson to Metro.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I appreciate that. I will have to be, I will have to, if that's the board's choice, then I just need to make sure I know the facts. And so I will be very careful to make sure that whatever we put together is based on what we actually know. And again, if indeed there is something pulled from the Metro Council agenda, we can see that soon, then perhaps this is all moot. I will be counting and working on whatever information Commissioner Fisher can provide, if that is, again, the will of the board. I was inclined, because Commissioner Fisher was the liaison, to allow her to navigate this, but I'm open to any other conversation about that. So,
So Chair Savas, I have been, as liaison, I've been heavily involved regionally and working with the partners and dealing with getting the facts of this matter. And I would really suggest that I take lead on this with your support, if necessary, for today. I've have the involvement of other stakeholders, and they've done a lot of work in really having a strong voice for Clackamas County through the very beginning. And I was there at the table in setting the policy, which laid the framework. So I can speak directly with experience as to how what is being proposed is contrary to the intent and mission and what the voters passed.
Can
okay.
you folks hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'd like to make a comment on that.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. I cannot, I'm sorry for interrupting. I don't know whose hand is up. Paul, get to me whenever you can.
Okay, so thank you, Sonia. Were you finished?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna just make one comment, and then Tootie, I'll turn it over to you. Perhaps what we can do is Tootie and I, as the special ops folks, chair and vice chair, can discuss this, and I will work with you, Sonia, to find out what we know as it develops, as time develops, to approach this and coordinate. But and I would, I would just like to keep the door open for who perhaps is the designated speaker. And so I'm happy to do that, but if Tootie and I can come to an agreement and we have a better understanding of what's on the table, so we all are working from a common, solid information, then perhaps we can figure out who we're going to designate, whether it be myself or yourself. Does that work for you all?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I did want to keep this narrow. Again, I don't want to react on any kind of rumors or any kind of false information. And so, Gary, who can we designate on the staff side to review the council meeting tape that got us to this point, and any solid information? I would like to make sure we're working from a solid base of good information should it become necessary to testify today.
Let me work with Chen and we will identify someone as soon as this meeting ends and we'll notify you commissioners.
Okay,
Can I make a suggestion?
sure.
Jamie Stasny is, well, of course, she works with DTD, but she works with the impact folks all the time. But then again, I imagine you may really want to have someone who's like in housing as well.
I'll take care of it, Commissioner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Okay, Gary, so based on what you've heard, is there anything else that we need to do other than we're going to rely upon, and we have board support for everyone here today, which is the purpose of this meeting, board support to activate the special ops group and determine an action from here for the remainder of the day? Is that a yes, thumbs up? Agreement? Sonia? You good with that? Okay, Mark? Okay, I see your hand up. Commissioner Leenstra?
I'm with you.
Okay. Did I miss anyone? Martha, you're good?
Absolutely.
So we have consensus. Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.